Hi everyone, my name is Adina and I am a librarian at the Newton Free Library Children's Department, and thank you for joining us for a Get Creative science video. And today we are experimenting with magnets. Now I'm sure that you have played with magnets at home before because magnets are a lot of fun to experiment and to play with. So to join me in doing this experiment at home, what you're going to need are a few things. You're going to need some kind of magnet. You could get a magnet from a refrigerator if you have that at home. So you could get a magnet that looks like this, or you might even have some other magnets. But you can use any kind of magnet that you have at home. Preferably if you have two of them, that would make this experiment work really well. You want some paper clips. You want some change, so maybe a penny or a nickel or a quarter as well. And if you have it, something aluminum, like aluminum can that came from a drink, or maybe even a baking dish, or if you have cookie cutters, that would also work. All right, so hopefully you have paused your video and you have gotten your materials and you're back, and now we can experiment together. So we're going to talk about magnets. Well, first thing is that we need to understand how magnets work. So there are two kinds of magnets. One is called a north pole and the other is called the south pole. And you might think that this sounds similar to two places that are on our planet. And you are correct, because our planet is also an enormous magnet. And that is why those areas are called north and south poles too. Now, important thing to remember about magnets is that there is what is called a magnetic field around a magnet. And I want you to think about a magnetic field, which is invisible, as something like an invisible bubble that's around that magnet. So I have two magnets here. Okay, you can see they're two different colors. And we're going to see how magnets work with those north and south poles. So we're going to see these two magnets. You can see they are pushing apart. They are not going together, no matter how hard I try. And that is because these are similar poles. These are both either north or both south poles. And when you have two poles that are the same, getting closer and closer together, they are always going to push apart. They are always going to repel. Now, what happens if you experiment with different poles? So if I have these two poles here, these two magnets, I should say, we saw those quickly come together. They pulled together, they attracted, because opposite poles, a north and a south pole, will always attract, will always pull together, okay? So now that we know how magnets work with one another, we're going to experiment and see how magnets work with other materials, which is why we said earlier in the video that we would need those other items. Okay, so you have your magnets, you have your materials. We're going to experiment and see what happens. So first we're going to use a penny. And a penny has a copper lining to it, so we're going to see how magnets interact with copper. Are we ready? Let's give it a try. And we saw nothing happen because magnets do not interact, do not attract copper materials. Now we have our aluminum cookie cutter. All right, so ready? We're going to see how this works. Nope, no attracting, no pulling. We're not seeing that come together either. Now, I have a bunch of paper clips here. Let's see what happens with these paper clips. Ready? And we saw those paper clips get pulled, get attracted to our magnet very quickly, right? We're going to experiment with this one more time. We're going to see if we can, and we can see that the magnet attracted, and that attraction is so strong that it's keeping those paper clips attached to our magnet. Excellent. We found a material that it works with. Ready? We're going to test one more. I do have a nickel here. Ready? We're going to see if our magnet works with our nickel. And no, it does not. So out of our 4 testing materials, our magnet only worked and attracted one of them. And that is because magnets only interact with 4 particular kinds of metal. They interact with iron, they attract steel, like that our paper clips are made out of, because steel has parts and pieces of iron in it. It also works with cobalt and nickel, that actually not just a coin nickel, but real metal that is made out of only nickel material. So if you have a refrigerator at home that our magnets are not staying attached to, that is because that material is made out of stainless steel. So it's not the same kind of steel that makes up our paper clips or a lot of other items that we use on a regular daily basis, because that refrigerator is missing an important ingredient to keep your magnet attracted to it. So I hope that you enjoyed getting creative with us and experimenting with magnets. Please come to the library and visit us, and you can find lots of books on magnets and other science experiments when you come to visit. Thanks, and have a great day.